Now, lobby group AfriForum has implemented urgent legal action to prevent municipalities from hiking electricity tariffs next month. According to the group, municipalities have failed to comply with the prerequisite assessments required for the price increase. Now, a High Court order from October 2022 and the Electricity Regulation Act 4 of the 2006 both require these cost studies for tariff increase applications. Professor of Physics at the University of Johannesburg, Hartmut Winkler, joins us now. Prof, thank you so much for your time and, of course, a very good afternoon to you. So please help us understand what this all means. I mean, especially around the cost studies issues, given that, as we said in the intro, a High Court order from October 2022 and the Electricity Regulations Act 4 of 2006 both require these cost studies for tariff increases applications. So can NERSA then move ahead with its hikes?
We'll have to see about that. I think the court is going to come to some sort of decision. And not being a legal expert myself, I don't really want to predict what the outcome is going to be. NERSA is clearly going to say that they've done what they were supposed to, whereas AfriForum is saying that they haven't. In essence, it boils down to more about municipal finances than anything else. The municipalities have to pay Eskom for electricity, and they in turn collect money from the consumers. Now, how much exactly they collect is determined by NERSA. That's one of the primary functions of NERSA, is to determine the price of electricity. And they allow or disallow agreements and increase in cost and determine how high these costs should be, depending on certain factors. And I think the general position is that they should charge as much as it costs the municipality to procure that. And I think that's what it was all about. And in the previous judgment, the court found that the price increases hadn't been determined based on the actual cost to the municipality, and therefore the onus was put on the municipality to have to try and prove that the extra amounts being claimed are because of a cost analysis. Now, whether they've done that or not, that I think we're going to see in the course of the next few days.
Now, just going back, of course, to, the 2023's electricity price hike of 18.65%, which was, of course, significantly less than the 32.02% increase that Eskom had asked for. Just what are the implications on all of these tariff increases? Firstly, on the municipalities themselves, given, that they have their own issues in terms of maintenance to foresee, but also on the end user, the consumers, in terms of, the outcome of these tariff hikes?
Yes, well, we have all three concerned parties, the municipalities, Eskom, and the consumers, can make a good case that they're very short of money and that they need either increases, in the case of Eskom and municipalities, or that they simply cannot afford it. And I think Eskom and the municipalities are certainly counting on some of these increases in order to meet their very difficult financial position. And the argument has often been made that one of the reasons why we've had all this load shedding and all these breakdowns is precisely because insufficient has been invested in the upkeep, maintenance, and construction of new facilities that would improve the electricity supply in the country. The consumer, of course, will want the increases are way above inflation, and so consumers do have a very good case for arguing that this is not justified. So if Eskom doesn't get the increase, if municipalities don't get the increases, well, the financial problems are going to deepen, especially now if the court decides that, no, you shall not implement these price increases. That's quite a bit of money less that the municipalities and ultimately Eskom are going to have available.
Prof, I mean, when we look at what is currently happening in some municipalities, let's perhaps look at what's happening in the city of Joburg, for instance. City Power is currently, implemented these reductions in electricity, and they are saying that, of course, this is not load shedding. What is concerning about this? I mean, what does it say about the level of maintenance that happens, at, local level? Because as we know, and as we've been told over the past couple of weeks now, is that Eskom is on the upward trajectory, given the fact that we have had no load shedding for the past couple of weeks, I think 10 weeks to be exact. What can we then read into what is currently happening in Johannesburg in as far as City Power is concerned?
Yes, well, the various facilities, be that the power lines, be it the substations and so on, are all very old, and a lot of components in the system would have needed replacement or certainly better upkeep over the years. So the reason why we're having so many just breakdowns, fires and so on, and those, by the way, have indirectly helped Eskom. The power demand this year is slightly lower than it was last year, even though we're a slowly growing population and that. So one of the factors, it's not the only factor, would have simply been that you don't really need to load shed so much anymore if an area is going to be out of power for a lengthier period, and that's happened all throughout. So I think what we're just seeing is a summary of just far too many years where there hasn't been proper upkeep of the facilities and little development of new ones. We also have a situation that some areas are now severely overloaded, simply because there's been a very large population growth and user growth in those areas. And if the current supply systems weren't designed for that volume. Now, in the ideal circumstances, that should have been rectified years ago. There should have been plans in place to expand the grid, build bigger, better supply in those areas, but that hasn't really happened.